Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Algorithm Minds. My name is Asan Khurram and in this channel I teach programming skills in Python, MATLAB and R programming. I also teach Tableau, a data visualization tool. So for today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can actually use plot3 function in MATLAB to generate 3D plots. Okay, so this is the function like plot3 where you actually define three input arguments x, y, z, where x, y, z are the values of your data. This plots coordinates in 3D space. So basically they are the coordinates of the point in the 3D space. To plot a set of coordinates connected by a line segment, specify x, y, z as vectors of the same length. So x, y, z has to be in the same length. Okay, to plot multiple set of coordinates on the same set of axes, specify at least one of x, y, z as matrix, other as vectors. Okay, so matrix has more than one dimensions. For example, we have like a pair of values with 10 rows and 3 columns, where x, y in our case, let's say they are only a pair of only one column and 10 rows. So that being said, so first thing we are going to do, we are actually going to generate the data that will actually plot this 3D plot. So first of all, we will define t, okay, as by using this MATLAB statement. So the t values will start with 0 and it will end at 10 multiple of pi and with the interval of pi over 50. So this MATLAB statement will actually create an array that starts at 0 value and ends at 10 pi value with the interval of pi by 50. Now once we have generated the t values, the next thing we are going to do, we are going to create functions of t. So we will generate values out of sine t and store it into a variable st. In the same way, we will generate values of cost of t and we will store it in the variable ct. Now we have one variable, two variable and three variable, that is x, y, z. So simply what we are going to do, we are going to call the function plot3 and pass three input argument st, ct and t. Okay, remember t is a linear values from 0 to 10 pi, where st and ct are the function of t. Now let me run this block of code for you. So this is how the plot has been generated. Now you can see that we have actually plotted in the 3D space. We have like t, we have ct, we have st. So that's how you can actually plot by using plot3 function. Let's move on and talk about another feature of this function, that it can take an additional input argument which is specifically designed to alter the type of line we can actually plot in MATLAB with the function plot3. So this plot3 xyz linspecs creates the plot using a specified line style, marker and color. So this, by using this additional input statement, we can specify the line style, marker and color. So we have the same data t, xt, yt, which are the function of sine t and cos t, and then we are calling the function plot3 and passing three input argument xt, yt and t, and the additional input argument, which is actually the line spec. Here we are defining that line should be a circle value or a dotted circle value. So once we run that, now you can see that the line in our case is our circle values. So that's how it is. Okay, now one important point to keep that in mind, that plot whatever the data that you have, in order to define additional input arguments, you will define the argument name, then you will define its value. So this thing specifies line property using one or more name value pair argument. Okay, so name of the argument, then its value of the argument. They specify the properties after all other input arguments for list properties. Okay, so let's move on and actually create a more customized plot. So first of all, we will create the t values, then based on t we will create xt and yt, which are the sine t and cos t functions of it. We will call the plot3 function and we will pass three input argument, which are actually the data set xt, yt and t. Once you done that, by using this name value pair input argument, we will define additional features. The first input argument is actually the line spec. We are stating that the line in our case, it should be like with the underscore and a circle, and the color Then we define the input argument name, like color. We want color to be blue. Then we define the marker size. We want it to be 10. And then marker face color, we define it to be something else. Okay, in our case, we set to this color code. Okay, once we done that, and when we run it, now you can see that it has completely altered the form of our plot. Now instead of line, we have like dot marker, and the marker is filled with different color, and it's a 3D plot. Okay, now that being done, if you recall that, if you see that, we can use plot3 and plot multiple lines using the same plot3 function. So this function plots multiple set of coordinates on the same set of axes, using this syntax as an alternative to specifying multiple set as matrices. So for this purpose, what we are going to do, we are going to create a set of two values. So we have like t values from 0 to pi with an interval of pi over 50, and then we will define xt, yt, and zt. So xt is a function like sin t, element wise multiplication with cos 10t, and yt1 is a sin t, element wise multiplication with sin t, and sin zt is actually cos t. In the same way, we define another value xt2, yt2, and zt2, okay, with a different set of value, while the z value remains the same. Now we can plot all this value in a single plot by using this statement here. Plot3, we will define the first set of arguments or data values xt1, yt1, zt1, and then follow on we will define the other set of values, that is xt2, yt2, and zt2. Once we run that, now you can see that we have successfully generated two lines in our 3D plot, where first line denotes 1 legend and the second line denotes legend 2, that is xt2, yt2, and zt2. In the same way, what we can actually do here, we can actually plot from a tabular data. So here I have created a tabular data. First of all, I have created the values of t, then y and x declare variables x and y, which are the functions of t. It means that they will have the same range as of t. Then I use MATLAB function table that will actually convert these values into a table form. So x, y, t. Okay, now you can see that these are the table form. So how we can actually plot, use plot3 function for a tabular data set? It is quite easy to do. So we will call the plot function plot3, and then for the first input argument will be the table name or table variable in which the table is stored. So we, in our case, is it tbl. Following that, we will give in string format the column names. Okay, so we have like x, y, t, so they will be used in place of x, y, z. Now once we run that, now you can see that we have successfully plotted a 3D plot with tabular set of data. Now finally we are done with this function plot3, but for additional exercise, now you can see that we can also display beautiful visualization with the help of this plot3 function. Here is a bit more complex function where we have defined t, and then t is a function, then we have xt, yt, and zt, which is a more specific approach of creating a function. Once we done that, now we can going to do is plot3 xt, yt, and zt. For this function plot3, but by using some predefined functions, you can actually create some stunning visualization with the help of this plot3 function. So here, first of all, I have defined the value of t, then xt, yt, and zt are the functions of t in sum of square root, cos root, and so on. Then I'm going to use the same function plot3 and pass 3 input argument, which are the values of xt, yt, and zt. That being done, I'm passing additional input arguments or defining the x label, y label, and z label. So it will label the x-axis or axis, z-axis, y-axis, and x-axis. And once you've done that, now you can see that this is some of a beautiful visualization that we are able to generate with the help of plot3. So we have the values of xt, yt, and zt. So that's how you can actually use plot3 function in MATLAB. I hope this tutorial has been helpful. If you have any questions regarding today's tutorial, feel free to write down your comments. I will be happy to help you out. Thank you for joining me, and I will catch you soon in the next.